Okay. Stop.
All right, I think everyone has been let in. Let me introduce myself. Hi, everybody. My name is Kimberly Davidson. I am the very proud director of Noah's Ark Summer Camp. Along with me is Danielle Fry. She is the director of our Solar Early Learning Center, and her and I are very closely linked in everything that we do. So you will know her just as well as me, and we're both very, very, very excited for a fun, wonderful summer. We have a slideshow prepared for you that keeps getting random black boxes on top of it. So if that happens, I'm just gonna let Danny know since she's in charge of it. It just went away, which I'm glad to say. And we're gonna get started. First of all, we want to let you know that this is being recorded, so it will be sent out. It does need to go to our marketing team before it's sent out, so I will get it to you guys early next week. So if anyone's asking who wasn't on here for it, let them know that it'll be out shortly. Also, lots of questions are going to come up. You're going to have questions that pertain just to your child. You're going to have questions that might pertain to any of them. Feel free to write them in the messages. Danny and I are the only two who can see the messages that you write. Danny will answer whatever messages she's able to. And if it's a message that probably a lot of people have, she's going to save it till the end. She's going to ask me, and then we'll answer that message for everyone. Sound good? Thumbs up? Thank you. I saw a thumbs up. All right, so we're going to go through this slideshow. Again, if you have questions, feel free to jot them in the box, and we'll make sure we have time for everything to be answered. Before we start with the slideshow, let me just tell you a little bit about my history. I am the mother of 3 children, and I started my journey here at the J when my daughter turned 2. I was teaching in Baltimore County Public Schools. When she turned 2, I brought her to preschool here, and I couldn't leave. I fell in love with this place. I've been here ever since. She is now 1 year out of college, and it's been quite a journey. So I love this place. It is definitely my home away from home. I want all of our children to feel that way too. And Danny and I strive to make sure everyone feels part of our family. And they really do. You guys, if you're not here already and you're coming to us for the first time, you will know that you are entering a warm, loving environment that are going to take care of your children just as you would. All right, Dan, I think we're ready for our first page. So here are dates and hours. You guys should know this by now. We are running for 9 full weeks from June 20th through August 18th. Our regular program runs every day from 9 until 3:30. But we do have early drop-off and extended stay for our parents and families that, work early and stay late. Everybody is signed up primarily for the full day program. We do have some children who chose to leave at 12:30. A few of the younger children who may have their first experience in this kind of environment. All are welcomed. If you ever need additional care than the hours that you signed up for, we need advance notice. You will be charged additional for those hours, but if we're able to help you and accommodate you in, a situation where you have an early doctor's appointment or a late meeting and it's out of the hours that you have originally signed up for, we are certainly willing to work for you to see if that can work. It all depends on ratios. We follow very strict standards set by our state. So we need to make sure we have the proper ratio between children and adults. So if we can work all of that out and we can help you, get out of the pinch, just let us do so. Next slide, please. I'm not going to read our entire mission to you, but let me just tell you a little bit about our program. We believe that camp should be a safe and nurturing environment. We want the children to explore. We want the children to take risks. We want the children to make friends, and we want them to experience everything wonderful about childhood, camp, and outdoors. Luckily, our incredible staff is our 12-month employees, so they stay with us throughout the summer. And I get the privilege of hiring many college kids and young people with all of this energy to bring even more oomph into our program for the summer because we do grow. Each class does have a certified preschool teacher as a lead or a certified teacher for our older kids. And together we will work to make this an experience where your child grows emotionally, socially, in every way possible. When I think back to my camp experiences, it brings me such joy, and I want to make those memories for the children coming to us. So I introduced myself. I introduced you to Danny. Mary Ida is the glue. She keeps us going. She is very organized and is collecting all of the paperwork and reaching out if she doesn't have what she needs. Mindy Wassel and Laurie Goldberg are both our nurses. They too will keep you posted if your medical records aren't turned in or if we don't have the proper immunizations. Please understand that everything that we ask for are state mandated paperwork. So it's not us just being, pushy or we want to stay open. We don't want to get shut down for not having the correct stuff in our facility. So we are asking you for things that are necessary, not because we want to make your life miserable or drive your doctor crazy. Again, all of our counselors are certified teachers. We have assistant counselors, and we don't have as many specialists as I would like, but we have set up an incredible array of activities, and I'm going to tell you more about that when we get there. We talked about nursing services. You really want to become friendly with the nurse if your child has an allergy or a medical situation that needs attention during camp. Both nurses are fabulous, and the kids absolutely love them. And of course, whenever they visit the nurse, they get a sticker. So, the children, it's certainly a place that children enjoy going, and they are wonderful. They're here daily from 8:15 to 1:15. And that is typically our busiest part of the day when children do fall the most and have those kinds of accidents. Danny and I and a few of our other teachers have medical administration, so we are certainly capable of handling any kind of situation that comes our way. It's wonderful in the morning when the nurses are here, when we know that they're here to handle that stuff, but just know your children are in good hands, no matter what time of day it is. If there's ever a true emergency, please know that we will contact you immediately, and we will do everything we can to make sure your child is safe, secure, and that you are aware as soon as anything happens. Even when it's something small, if your child will never send your child home with a mark that they didn't come to school with without communicating it with you. I'm really excited for our theme days. I'm a big goof, and I and I like to dress up, and I like to get silly with the kids, and I like to make kids laugh. So on Mondays, we have different theme days. On Mondays, we will introduce the children to a different mitzvah project. A mitzvah is basically a good deed. In Judaism, we do mitzvah by, helping to feed the hungry, or by helping to clothe those who are cold or unable to afford things for themselves. So each Monday, you will see that we have different activities lined up where the children will actively take part in caring for our community. On Tuesdays, instead of Tutu Tuesdays, which has been a theme in the past, we are now doing Tube Socks Tuesdays. I'm excited to see the kids in, crazy print socks. I'm excited to see the counselors in crazy print socks. So just get creative and have fun with it. Wacky Wednesday, when you see the calendar that was in the handbook that I sent last night, each Wednesday is a different theme, and we get to be silly and dress up from everything from pirates to rock stars and everything in between. On Thursdays, if you had a sibling, or if your t-shirt from last year still fits you, or if you have a JCC shirt from playing soccer or whatever it may be, feel free to wear it on Thursdays. If not, maybe next year you'll have one because you came in this year, but it's not a big deal if your child doesn't have anything to participate. And on Fridays, everybody will be getting, I think it's purple, right, Dan? We have purple shirts this year. And everybody will be getting a camp shirt, and we do want everyone to wear them on Fridays for our Family Fridays. We gather as a full camp, and this summer, Dan, it's going to be a full camp. I didn't even tell you yet. We worked it out so that everyone can come together, and we're going to celebrate our Shabbat as a full community. And when you look out on these children just smiling and dancing and laughing, and everyone's in their purple shirt, it's just a beautiful moment, and I love to be part of that. So again, I already talked about Mitzvah Mondays. We do that in partnership with Jewish Volunteer Connection. They help deliver our different projects. One week we will collect bag lunches to feed those who have insecurities with food, and they will deliver them for us. Another week, we are making dog toys for animals that are in shelters. They will take those to the shelter for us. So it's nice to have that partnership so that we know that we're serving community members that really do need it. So everyone asks what to keep at camp. We want everyone to have 2 complete changes of clothing, if it is possible for your family. I do understand that some families may not have spare clothes like that, and that is fine. You do whatever is best for your family, but accidents happen, and we are a messy camp. I would never tell a child not to jump in a puddle or to get paint on their hands. And, you know, we want these kids to explore. We want these kids to get messy. Send your kids in the cheapest stained clothes that you have, knowing that they're going to come home even more stained than you sent them in. It really is just a wonderful experience to let children explore. So I want you to expect them to get dirty. So keeping clothes here ensures us that your kids are always, you know, dry and well kept. But don't worry if they run out of clothes. We have a closet full of extra clothes. We just ask that if you do borrow something from our nurses, that you wash it and return it. We also need everybody to please bring in a sunscreen that's in its original packaging. We need your child's name labeled on it. And the deal is that we expect you guys to sunscreen your children well before they get to camp, right before they, you know, you bring them to camp. And we will sunscreen them again after their morning swim, and then again after rest period when they go outside. So we will make sure that they are completely protected from those harmful rays throughout the day. But we do expect the first couple of hours to be covered by you guys sending them completely prepared. We can't have families doing it in the carpool line or holding up the morning traffic because they're taking their kid out of the car to sunscreen everybody there. It just doesn't work. We have a lot of campers. So we need everyone to come to camp prepared. Please remember that your child's counselor has minimum 11 other children in their bunks. So if you say to, you know, the counselor, can you please do it? Can you please do it? Of course, they're going to say yes, but it is taking their time away from focusing on the children and having fun and making them feel welcome. So it really does benefit the program when you guys really send your child prepared. We also want bug spray in its original packaging. We do take the kids out. We let them roll down the hills and all kinds of stuff. So I know some children are more apt to get bit than others, but if you want your child to have sunscreen, we're happy to put that on them as well. A 2-week supply of diapers and a large package of wipes if your child is using diapers and wipes. We, of course, don't need you to send anything other than extra undies if your child is potty trained. We do also want to keep extra swim diapers here, and a bathing suit is always a good idea if some parents are on the ball. I was not that parent. I was that parent who would drop my child off and then go, oh, it was a pool day. Shit, I have to go. Oh, kids, sorry, I have to go back. So it's always best for you to keep one there if you are like me and may forget. Every day, your kids are going to go swimming except on Wednesdays. Wednesdays is our day to dress up, and our day to have special visitors. So we do not swim on Wednesdays. It just makes everyone's life easier than trying to get the children out of their, fun costumes and into their swimsuits and back into their costumes. So we leave that as our non-swim day. What you want to do is your child will come to school in their bathing suit, regardless if they're the first group to swim or the last group to swim. Everybody swims between the hours of 9:30 and 12:15. So the kids will, play in their bathing suits all morning long. Feel free to dress them on top of their bathing suits. What we want to do for children who are not yet potty trained, and this may sound backwards to some of you, is that we want you to have your child in their regular diaper that absorbs it all with a swim diaper on top. This way, when it's time to go to the pool, which is usually before most children need a diaper change, we are able to simply slip the regular diaper off. The swim diaper is already there and we are good to go. It makes our process a lot easier. Of course, if your child has, a bowel movement or they are wet by 10 a.m., we are going to change them. Just because they have that swim diaper on top does not mean we are not going to make sure that they're always kept clean. So please do that for us. Plastic bag for wet items. When we stick wet stuff inside the book bag by itself, it starts to smell and it makes everything else icky. You want to send a towel. Now, we do ask the children always come to school in shoes that have a back, and that shoes that are really good shoes for running around and playing on the playgrounds and those kinds of things. But we do allow children to bring Crocs or other type of pool shoes to walk to the pool. They will not be wearing them any other parts of our day, but if you would like your child to wear them to the pool has been known to cause like swimmers' feet, where like children will get like little tiny cuts. They don't really hurt the kids, but they, will get tiny cuts on the bottom of their feet. So if you find like a swim shoe that that your child can wear to the pool and then keep on in the water, that's probably your best bet. But I know certain children don't like to wear those. So whatever works best for your family, please, just let us know and we'll make sure that we work with that. But remember that the closed-toed shoes with the back are the shoes that your child must come to camp with and the ones that you're going to play in. We are asking that everyone who stays after 12:30 supply their child with a nut-free lunch for all of the campers. Well, you do have an option to buy lunch, and we're going to talk about that a little later, but you have to make sure it's nut-free. Next slide. So for our infant toddler families, there are a few babies starting with us. In the handbook, you will find the exact list of what is to be kept at school and what to come in with your child daily. The biggest thing for you to remember is that you must label everything, especially with the babies. Everyone's using the same bottle. You need to label the bottle. You need to label the lid to the bottle. You need to label the Tupperware that you're sending their food in, the top of the Tupperware that you're sending their food in. It is never too much to label. You can't label too much. You can't. The next section we're going to talk about is NAP. Now, the Maryland State Department of Education requires child care facilities to provide a rest period for their children. It is something that is mandated by law. Children must rest in a daycare setting. What we do is we have lunch around 12:30, and then the children all transfer over to their cots by 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, the lights are turned out. A lot of the classrooms will put on like lullabies or soft music, and the children are asked to stay on their cots and to rest until 1:30. Now, over the summer, most of the children, except for our oldest, will fall asleep. They've been in the sun all morning. They've been swimming. They've had sports. They had farm to forest. They've been running around the playgrounds. They're exhausted. They need that rest. Usually, it does not affect a child's evening routine because they need that rest to just keep going for the rest of the day. We allow the children to sleep until 3 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, we wake everyone up and then we gather for our afternoon snack. Now at 1:30, children grow out of their nap at all different times. Don't worry, your child is not asked to stay on that mat. If they are not asleep by 1:30, we are going to turn the lights back on. The children who need to sleep through it all. They do. And the lights get turned back on. The children that are awake get to engage in centers. They'll build with blocks. They'll do art projects, those kinds of things until everyone is awake at 3. So don't worry, because whatever your child needs at that point, they will get. We will not wake a sleeping child up. So even if you email us and say, please don't let my child sleep for more than 45 minutes, or please make sure my child doesn't nap today, it is messing with their evening schedule. Unfortunately, that is also mandated by the state that we do not wake waking children. We do not wake sleeping children. We, of course, won't let anyone sleep for longer than that 2-hour period. But if your child is sleeping during the day, it's because they're tired. We're not going to wake a sleeping child. For nap, we have these cute little cots that aren't far off the floor. Most families bring what's called a nap mat. It's like an all-in-one, and it wraps up so with a cute little handle. It's got a pillow, like a sheet, and a blanket that comes on top. If you search Amazon for nap mats, you'll see them. If you don't want to spend any extra money and don't have a nap mat, a crib sheet and a blanket is absolutely all your child needs. We will ask you to send that in at the beginning of the week. So if you're a Monday to Friday kid, you will bring that in on Monday clean, and then it'll stay at school camp. I'm going to go from school to camp. We are in camp mode. We are going to keep it at camp all week long. And then on Friday, we'll send it back home so that you guys can launder it over the weekend. And on Monday, you'll send it in fresh again. We do allow people to bring in like stuffies or a lovey if they need it for nap, but we ask other than that, that no toys are brought from home. It just causes issues between children. Things get lost, and it is just not a good practice. If your child has a hard time separating with, certain things, we just let them know it's not a choice. It is, not allowed. They are not to bring toys from home, so that it's a flat out no across the board, and that there are no, issues. If you're having trouble with your child and they are refusing to follow like this protocol, call me. I'll come help you with it, because I'll make sure that, we find something fun for that child to play with as soon as they get inside. Let's talk lunch, snacks, and allergens. So we are a Jewish facility. We will talk about Jewish culture, Jewish holidays, and most importantly, our Jewish values. Jewish values are values that every single human being hopefully wants their child to grow up with. Yeah, it's learning how to respect our environment, how learning to respect each other, giving back, community, all of those important things that we want to instill in our children. But we also do follow Jewish dietary laws here. So our kitchen is a dairy kitchen. Everything that is served by us will be dairy, vegetarian, in addition to nut-free. We make sure everything that we serve has not been processed in a plant that also produces peanuts. And we make sure that everything that we serve here is also kosher. Families are allowed to send meat meals for the first time in all of my years here at the JCC. We have changed our policy. So although we are still having a dairy kitchen and our supplies in the kitchen are for dairy items, you may send your child with a meat meal. We are asking families to follow the guidelines where if you send your child a meat meal, we are asking that you do not send dairy with that meat meal. And if you send your child a dairy meal, vice versa. So I know it's going to get some getting used to, but we are asking families not to send like a turkey and cheese sandwich and things like that. If we do have children that bring in both milk and meat, we will do our best to make sure the children eat their dairy products first, take a nice big drink of water, and then enjoy their meat dish afterwards. But just remember, everything that we serve will be kosher dairy, and you will have the option to order from the Knish shop, which has some delicious sounding meals too. We'll get to that also. Please, please, please do not send in water bottles of any kind. It's against licensing regulations. And believe me, if a child sees a water bottle, doesn't matter whose it is, they're going over to drink it. In each classroom, we have tiny child-sized pitchers and tiny child-sized like Dixie cups. The kids know where these are in their classrooms. We teach them independence from the time that they're 2. They'll be picking it up, pouring themselves water anytime they are thirsty. If they go outside in the hot sun, the teachers take pictures and cups with them, so they will be hydrated, I promise. But please do not send in water bottles. Also, during lunch, we don't allow families to send in their own drinks. We offer milk or water with all of our snacks and meals. And if your child does have a dairy allergy and prefers a milk that is non-dairy, of course, we are able to keep a carton of that here at school. You'll provide it, you'll put your child's name on it, and that is also an option. But no juices, no juice boxes, no thermoses, all of that kind of stuff. On Friday, every child looks forward to challah and juice on Friday. We certainly explain to the children that, there's sometimes food, and on Friday it's time to celebrate Shabbat. And we do that with challah and juice and a lot of prayer and song and dance. So we will give them juice on Fridays. We have everything your child would need, whether it's disposable plasticware or paper plates and those kinds of stuff. A lot of families are helping us save the environment with the bento boxes, and sending in a reusable container with the entire meal in it. That's always great to see. Whatever works for your family, again, it's going to work for us as long as you do follow our stipulations. A lot of children have allergies, and a lot of children have severe allergies. We need you guys to be grateful if you have a child without allergies and understand that it can be terrifying for a family who does, which is why we maintain a completely nut-free facility. You may not send your child with items that are produced in a peanut plant. You can't send them items that may contain traces of peanuts. So when you do take pretzels out of a bag and put it in a Tupperware or put it in a Ziploc, you need to look at those pretzels to make sure the back of it says, that it doesn't contain nuts, because a lot of things that don't contain nuts are made right alongside of, a peanut butter filled pretzel or something along those lines. And every package is now labeled very clearly, may contain. If it doesn't say nuts, then you are good. But please look for that. And things change. Things that were once nut-free are now not nut-free, and vice versa. So you really want to check. We do not let children eat their lunches if things aren't labeled. So we have a lot of families that buy Tupperware containers on the top, right, nut-free, and then they know every time they put something in there, it's nut-free. But if you send stuff in Ziploc bags and it's not labeled, if it's a chocolate chip cookie and it's not labeled, we don't know if that chocolate chip cookie is, nut-free or not. We are not going to allow your child to eat it. Please know we never let a child go hungry. We have a pantry full of snacks, and we will supplement. But as long as you remember just to label everything nut-free, we will be fine. Coconut, nutmeg, and what are chestnuts? Not nuts. Feel free to send them. Are you getting a lot of questions, Dan, about the food policy? I figured. Can't wait to hear them. The Knish shop, who we've been ordering our food from when we've been doing staff orientations, which is delicious, is our new caterer. They are going to be set up on a platform that's called Boonly. We have not gotten the exact directions, but here it is going to be coming to us very shortly. But basically, Danny and I and Mary Ida have nothing to do with this. So if you have an issue, just know if you reach out to us, there's nothing we can do, which makes me feel bad when I'm presenting it to you. But it is through the Knish shop. The Knish shop is working with Boonly, which is this online platform. They will take the orders on Boonly, take your money on Boonly. They send all that information to Knish shop. Knish shop will be delivering the lunches here. A different department here, the J camps, is going to be organizing the lunches and bringing them to us. All of the information, everyone you need to contact is here. Just know that we really are not going to have very much to do with it. We can certainly direct you to the person in charge, but we are not going to be able to cancel orders or to get you a refund or anything like that. It is a service that we provide to our families through Boonly, through the Knish shop. So you'll have to handle those issues with Logan, who's in charge of the connection between Boonly and the Knish shop, or with the Knish shop directly. And for the menu, did I put the menu in? Which it's not cheap, but it sounds really good. A cheese calzone sounds delicious for $6.75. A mac and cheese. Pizza Wednesdays is totally separate. You all got the pizza form. We do that as a fundraiser. It's $3 a slice. Most parents will send in like a fruit and a chip or a fruit and something to go along with the pizza. Some families don't. The kids are happy. When the children get pizza on Wednesdays, it's not through ordering on Boonly. You guys have to hand that form, and we handle that, to Mary Ida. Crunchy chicken fingers, and it was so funny because when I was talking with the Knish shop, I'm like, well, are they too big chicken fingers? Are they too crunchy for little kids to eat? Like, I was looking out for the little guy. I didn't know what. I really wanted to understand exactly what these things would come if they were child friendly. And they have said that everything is perfect for kids our age. And then there's baked ziti on Fridays. Everything is going to come with fruit and a grain snack. I didn't want a lot of fried stuff. So they said they'll do stuff like sun chips or pretzels, something healthier than like a greasy like potato chip kind of thing. So it is an option. It is not a cheap option, but it's there for families who want to use it. Just know that We are a part of a huge facility, and we have an entire housekeeping crew who clean and disinfect constantly. They went down, what's it called? Heavy touch places? Blinking out on the word that they use for high touch. Look, what we used to all say. Anyway, they clean a lot. And so do our teachers. So we keep a bleach and water solution, which is made daily in each classroom. It is just the right amount of bleach to kill germs, but not bleach your clothes and not harm children. It can be sprayed on everything. It is licensed, mandated as well. And it really does kill all the germs, keep everything clean, but also is safe to be used around children and clothing. The children will wash their hands as soon as they get to camp. We have everyone wash their hands. We will wash our hands anytime we have been outside, and we will also, of course, wash our hands before we eat any meals or snacks. And of course, after using the restroom, even if your child is in diapers, children, after they're done the diapering process, are taught to wash their hands just so we get them in the habit of bathrooming. You then wash your hands. Also, the toys that are used often, and we know children like to mouth different things, are put into what's called a yucky bucket. We have a bucket of soapy water in each classroom that after a child has mouthed a toy or it's fallen on the floor and it can't be used again, it needs to be cleaned before it is put back in circulation. It goes into the yucky bucket. The children get really smart and enjoy putting things in the yucky bucket, and then we have to teach them how not to purposely put things in their mouth just so they can take a trip to the yucky bucket. But just know that that is there, and toys get cleaned well before they're put back. And at the end of the day, teachers will take out like the most used toys, whether it's the magnetic tiles or the blocks, lay them out on their tables and just give a good spray of bleach, let it dry overnight, and then put it away in the morning. So we are doing our part to keep our facility clean and healthy. And we ask that you do the same. No, that's not something we ask you to do. So we don't want you to keep our facility clean and healthy. We'll do that. That's all in this. What makes her special? Our swim is what really will be stand out from everyone else in a lot of ways, but we have incredible facilities here. So the children have swim lessons 4 times per week. If your child is in our 2-year-old program, they will be swimming in our baby pools. They do have instruction in the baby pools. They will have a certified lifeguard with them, teaching them how to blow bubbles and put their face under and make scoops and all of those skills you need for when they're ready to head to a bigger pool. If children are advanced in that area and are ready to go swimming in a bigger pool, the lifeguards will take those children one at a time to the bigger pool so they can continue to grow in their, wherever they are, we will take them further. The instructors are great. They're all lifeguards and Red Cross certified. And each class will get a weekly trip to the spray ground as well. And I was able to back those up with a swim period. So your child will go from swim, so we don't have to change them again, to the spray ground, or go from the spray ground to swim. You also get progress reports through a private portal that the aquatics department handles, but it shows you what level your child is swimming, and it shows you when they move up, and it'll keep you posted a few times during the summer. So Miss Destiny is doing sports. She has worked with me all year. She is wonderful. She is great with the kids, and she is super excited. She already has the summer planned out, from everything from keep that trash out of my backyard to teaching the kids all of these new fun games. We really want the children to just learn sportsmanship, to root for each other, to cheer for each other, to understand that sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. The children will work on hand-eye coordination. They'll learn grow some fine motor skills, and really understand that, there's times where we have to follow rules, that if we're playing a game, there's certain things that need to happen in order for the game to be successful. It's going to be a lot of fun. The children will be outside on days when the weather permits. If it is ever too hot or air quality is not good, we have a multi-purpose room that is plenty big for a sports class. So the idea is to have it outside whenever possible, but we have an inside place on days that we can't be outside. So our farm to table is really exciting. Our garden is looking great. The children started planting in their classrooms in early spring. We bought a lot of seedlings and transferred a lot of seedlings into the garden. all summer long, the children will have what's called farm to table lessons. They will do everything from weed the garden, water the garden, to looking in nature for different colors, to understanding that, milk comes from a cow, or that you don't find carrots in just the grocery store, that they actually grow in the ground. They'll experience all of that kind of stuff. But my favorite part of the summer is that all summer long, we will be harvesting from our garden. We will be creating stuff like zucchini bread or carrot souffle. We will be freezing all of the stuff that we create. And then the end of the summer, the second to last Friday, we have a farmer's market where their kids literally set up tents at little tables and pretend cash registers and sell all of the products to the parents at our little own farmer's market. And it's the cutest thing you've ever seen. And our food is delicious. So I'm excited for this. It really is a special part of our program, and the garden is just beautiful. Art in Action is new for the summer. I am turning in the one classroom that we have left into a studio. And each week's going to have a different focus. At the J, we truly believe in just having child-centered experiences where the children get to express themselves, explore material, and really just get material, and wherever their imagination takes them, let them go to. So it's going to be very open-ended. It is also going to have different materials each week. Do not expect pretty little art projects like back from our camp days when we would come home with the perfect looking whatever it was. This is going to be more, one week there might be a ton of easels set up with paint. One week there it's going to be, I already have all of these ideas. It's going to focus on things like string and ribbons and all this kind of stuff to see what the children want to create with those kinds of things. It's going to be much more of a studio setup than it's going to be process. It's not going to be product. So I don't want anyone to expect you're going to get these beautiful products that were mostly created by a teacher or counselor. You're going to get process-driven art that your child made with their own imagination, their own talent, their own skills. And I'm really excited for them to have that half an hour a week to really just encourage their creativity, let them express themselves. And also in that room for the children who really don't enjoy art activities, we'll have some building materials and other ways so they can create art in other forms. So it won't just be, with crowns or with markers or with paints. We'll certainly make sure that all of the children have a good time when exploring that room. One of my favorite parts of the week is when we do get together with the entire community. We will sing Shabbat songs, we will dance, we will celebrate, everyone will be in their t-shirts. We really do talk about just bringing in the warmth of Shabbat, reflecting on our week, understanding it's a time of rest, and we will select Mensches of the Week each week. Every child, of course, will have a chance to be the Mensch of the Week, but it is a big deal on Fridays. Each class has 2 Mensches of the Week. We call them up during Shabbat. Everyone screams and yells for them and gives them high fives, and they will come home with cute little Mensch of the Week certificates. Don't worry if your child gets the first week or the last week. The kids don't know the difference, and we make sure we acknowledge everybody. Oh, okay. We can keep going. Look, we're moving along. Communication. So we are big on communication. We take it very seriously. We understand that you are trusting us with your most prized possession. And for some of you, it's the first time you're leaving your children with us. So I understand what that feels like as a parent. And I understand that you want to make sure that your child's fine. We have lots of ways for you to do that. Our main way of communication is through Brightwheel. It's an app that you'll put right on your phone. It's a way that you can email, send messages to your teacher, to administration, to whoever you need to talk to. It is also what we use when we check in and check out children. It's a really easy way. It's just like sending a text. Like you pick up your phone, you type your message, you send it. You do have to understand that our teachers are very much focused on the the task at hand, or the child that they're working with at the time. So they may not get back to you right away. If it's a message that you feel is absolutely necessary, feel free to call the office. Danny and I do get every message that goes through Brightwheel, which you can imagine is overwhelming. Each teacher only gets their own room. Administration gets everyone. We do our very best to check them all, but it goes off 24/7. So if we might not see something and you need communication delivered to your child's teacher, feel free to call the office. Someone is always there to pick up, and we will get that information to whoever needs it in a timely manner. But your main source of communication with your child's teacher will be through Brightwheel. I think that's good for that page. Each Friday, you're going to receive an email from me. It's really going to just tell you an overview of like the main activities that we did, the special things that happened during that week. And it's also going to remind you of the things that are happening for next week. Don't forget that it's picture day. Don't forget to dress your child up in so-and-so. Also, when you get those, it's email, I will send it through email. Feel free to respond. If you have a question, if something wasn't clear to you, I am here for you. Know that most days from the time the children come till rest time, I am outside engaging with them. I'll be by the pool. I will be in my bathing suit swimming with them a lot of the times. So I am not in the office, but somebody is. And I will have a walkie on me. I will have my cell phone on me. So there's always a way to reach me. Just know that if you are emailing me, give me some time to get back to you, because I do love, my favorite part of the job is to engage with the children. So you will get that email from me once a week. You will also get daily pictures from your child's counselors, and you will get more in-depth newsletter-like information with pictures that tells you more about just that bunk's activities. This is another slide that tells you more about Brightwheel. All this information is in the handbook. It is also used, it's our primary way of doing everything. So when you come in, we have QRR. No, QRR is our quick reference roster. You know the codes, scanning codes. Danny, what are QRR? That's not right. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. We have those codes. You will use your phone to scan it. It takes you to a screen to check your child in. You will check your child in the morning. You'll do the same thing to check your child out. So it's used for that as well. Every person that comes to pick your child up must have their own Brightwheel account and their own code. We need to know exactly who picked them up and exactly what time. So if you give your phone to your mother and say, oh, just so-and-so use this code, that's not going to fly. It is against our regulations, and it is very easy for people to get what they need to be able to be an approved pickup for a child. You just need to do a few steps and have that done before the time you want to pick them up. So in order to get onto your Brightwheel app, we need to wait until we get closer to camp, because everyone who is currently in school is on our Brightwheel account right now. We need them to come off before we can then upload the new roster. And that won't be done till our last day of camp, which is not in our last day of school, I'm sorry, which is not until the 13th. So we have the 14th, 15th, and 16th to get rid of everybody who's on it now and upload the new roster. Once that's done, you will all get an invite that invites you to the app. Once you get the app, you are able to change your 4-digit code. It provides you with one. It's easy to change it. And that 4-digit code will be the code that you use to sign in and sign your child out. Mary Ida is a guru when it comes to this information, so she's here to help you. Danny and I are not as well versed, but we can help you. Also, it is very important that everybody who is an approved pickup, or anyone that you think may pick up your child throughout the summer, is also on Brightwheel. You have the ability to send them an invitation, so it's coming from you, so we know that they are safe people. They also need to be listed on your emergency card. And if you have questions about that, we are here to help you. We will not release a child to anyone unless we have exactly what we need to know that that is the parent's wishes and that we're following state mandated protocols. So please, 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 please understand that and know that. Let's move to drop off and pickup procedures. So most children are coming from 9 to 3:30, and hopefully you will all do carpool. Carpool is the easiest way to drop off your child, but there are families that need to come before carpool and after carpool due to work schedules. If you are walking into the building, you must walk in prior to 5 minutes before carpool starts. We do not let people in 5 minutes prior to any of our carpool times, because we're all getting ready and the security guard walks out to help provide carpool coverage. And in order to get into our building, you must have the authorization necessary. We do not let people who are JCC members come into our building. everyone must be scanned by the membership desk upstairs, receive for the first time, receive a visitor's badge that proves that their license was scanned, because it does check for predators and we want to make sure our building is safe. They bring that to Mary Ida, and they get a card that is, one of the key tag cards that you will scan at our vestibule that tells our guard that you are in our system. Your picture will come up. So it's another system where you cannot take someone else's card to get into our building. It shows your picture. We do keep a very secure facility and we are very strict on these rules. And we have been told off many times by a grandparent or aunt or uncle who's just trying to pick up their family member, and we get that. But hopefully in the long run, they see it's only for, we do this for the safety of the children. So we hope they understand, but we do not budge. So we just want to make sure everyone has gone through, the proper channels before it's time to pick up that child. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more questions about that, so we'll probably come back to that at the end. Infant and toddlers, a little bit different in the morning. Infant and toddlers, they don't have a choice of what times they can pick up. They do have the choice of what times they pick up. Infant toddlers are registered 7:30 to 5:30 every day, and they can use those hours however they see fit. So if you are coming during carpool time, it's difficult for us to get infants and toddlers out of the carpool. So what you will do is you will park your car right outside of our infant toddler classrooms. They all have classroom doors at the right by the parking lot, and you can walk your child to the back door if you're arriving during carpool times. Any other time you're dropping off your infant toddler, you're going to walk into the building. You're going to have the approved pass that allows you into the building. You're going to go to your child's bunk. You're going to make sure you sign them in on Brightwheel, and then they'll do the opposite on the way out. In the afternoon, we do bring infant toddler children to carpool. So if you do want to pick up your infant toddler that way, we are happy to bring them out to the car. Please note that we do, the black box is back. Does everyone see that, or is it just me? That's it. So then we do not put children in car seats. We will bring your child out to the car. We do want you to take that moment to step out of your car, make sure your child is securely fastened before you drive away. But we ask that this isn't a time where you also give them a snack and a juice box and change their shoes and all of that kind of stuff, because our carpool line will get backed up very quickly. We certainly understand it's the first time that you've seen your child all day. We want you to have that special bond with them. Get them strapped in, pull around. We have a huge parking lot. You can go to the next level down and, get out of the car and give your child that attention that they probably really need from you since they haven't seen you all day. But just remember that carpool is a process, and to keep it moving, everyone needs to cooperate. Morning carpool will start at 8:45. It'll run to 9:05. It may take us a week or two to get there. Everyone needs to understand the start of camp can sometimes be a mess of a morning when it comes to carpool, because we have families who have never done it before. We have families who are pros at it who get frustrated at the families who've never done it before. It takes a lot longer to say goodbye to a child on a first day than it does their second week of camp. Some parents need that third hug before they're willing to let go when their child's crying. It can be messy. We as professional educators understand what that looks like, understands how difficult it can be for you to let me unclaw your child from around your neck and take them inside as they're kicking and screaming. But just know that we have done it 100 times over. And as soon as we have that child out of your sight, we are giving them the love and the affirmation that they need to know that they're going to be safe and taken care of and have fun. For some children, it takes no time. They're, bye, see ya, don't even come back on time, I'm good. And then there's other children that literally we will be clawing around your neck. You really don't know where your child's going to fall until we get into it. Sometimes it's great for the first week, and then the second week they realize, I'm being left here for quite a while. So whatever it looks like, just know that we need to be consistent. You need to be consistent. I'm so excited for you. You're going to have a great day. Know that whoever's taking your child from you will physically take them from you, get them into the building. Once we're out of your sight and away from the street, we calm them down, we blow bubbles, whatever that child needs, we give to them so that they know it's going to be a great day. Most children show you the waterworks, fall and scream at you. As soon as you're out of the picture, they're as happy as can be. They forget completely. It's like they know that they're going to cause their parents have horrible guilt if they do this, and then go about their day and have fun. which is why Great Will is so great, because we will send you a picture 5 minutes after you dropped off your screaming, crying child, showing you that they're building a tower with 5 friends that they just made. So just be consistent. Just know that your child is taken care of, and just know the more times you go back for another hug, the more times you go back when they're crying, teaches them to cry, because they'll come back, and teaches them that you're not as comfortable. They'll see that you're not comfortable leaving them, which then gives them an idea of, maybe I'm not so safe here. Mommy is upset that she's leaving me too. So you want to put a smile on your face. You want to tell them that you know they're going to have a great time. You are so excited for them, and hand them off. You can come cry in my office. You can cry in Danny's office. I understand what that does to a parent when they're leaving their screaming child. You'll call us and you'll say, I left my kid crying. Can you go in and take a picture? I'll go in with my video on and show you that they're absolutely fine. Whatever you guys need, we just want to make sure that we show calmness and collectiveness, and not emotions of tears when you're dropping your baby off for the first time, because of course that'll worry your child. Did I say everything? Because I don't feel like I said anything about carpool. Dan, did I need to say anything else? Afternoon carpool is opposite of morning carpool. It'll begin for our 12:30 campers, which will literally take 3 minutes, because I think there might be 10 of them. Start at 12:30, start at 12:20, run to 12:30. It'll be a much lengthier carpool at 3:30 to 3:50. Again, just know that that is going to take longer the first week, but we will get it down to where it takes no longer than that 20 minutes. You are considered late if the last car pulls up and you are not in line, you are considered late, and you do pay $2 a minute. We are allowing families, I mean, you're paying camps technically over at 3:30. Carpool is not going to be over till 3:50, so we're giving you that 20-minute leeway. And then for those of you who have campers upstairs in J camps, you have gotten messages from Allie Feldman about the option of picking both children up here. If you have chosen that option, you will have to come into our building after the afternoon carpool. You will then go to your child's classroom down here, get your child, and then wait for your bigger kids in the multi-purpose room. But it makes it just easier. You don't have to wait in both carpool lines, and you're able to come in one spot and get both kids. Please know that, and we're not trying to be rude, but carpool time is not a time to communicate with your teachers. We really need to keep it rolling, or we don't get finished on time. So if you have a question, you want to hear more about your child's day, we want to tell you, we really do. Just send a Bright Will message, just give a call, but don't engage in conversation during that time, because then I'm the one who's like, I'm so sorry, we got to keep the line moving. And it makes me feel bad, because I know you just want to know information, but then it's not the time to get it. I told you already, you will be charged $2. Yes, we charge you from the first time. Of course, if there's an accident and, several families, because you can't get down Glenbrook, we understand that, but we do charge $2 a minute as quickly. And even if to some families, it's not a lot of money and they'd rather pay it and not rush, just please know that you are keeping my staff here later. If you are late, we understand emergencies happen, but on a Friday afternoon when I want to get home and someone is 20-25 minutes late, it's not okay. Of course, we understand emergencies happen. We will take care of your child. We will not show our anger that you're late for the 10th time on your child. We will love them just as much. Just know that you are keeping staff here who have already been here for 12 hours, an extra half an hour of you showing up late. But we are here for you and we make it work. But I just want you to know that I really would appreciate it if you do your best to be on time. So again, we have armed guards in the building. They will not let you in without the proper verification. No one under the age of 18, even if it's a sibling, is allowed to pick up a child. Please do not send, your 17-year-old cousin to come get a child. We will not dismiss your child to anyone under 18. Everyone has to be authorized on Bright Wheel and on your emergency card in order to get your child. Photo ID is required. You have to report to the main lobby to obtain clearance in the preschool, whether it's for a tour or whether it's for an interview or whatever it is. No one gets into the preschool before they're scanned. I'm a stickler about this. I'm not putting a kid into a car unless there's a car seat. And it happens more often than you think. It is not safe to drive with children. I don't care if you live around the corner with a child, the sizes of our children in a car without a car seat. we will keep your child at school until you show up with a car seat. There's no exceptions to that rule as well. In the morning, when I see you drop your child off and there isn't a car seat in the car, you will get a nasty email, not nasty, you will get an email that's informing you of all the dangers that could happen to your child. If and it's not you, it might not be, you might be a great driver. You don't know if there's an idiot driving behind you who's going to sideswipe you. So we want to keep children safe, whether they're in our care or in your care. So please make sure that you're following all the laws that pertain to car seats and children and that kind of stuff. While I say that, I'm also going to say, once you're in carpool line, kids love to hang out of the sunroof, out of the window, out of different things like that. It is not safe. I hate to be like this grump who's like, oh no, get back in. But we have had people bump people from the back or a foot come off a brake. Like, we're telling you this because we want your children to be safe. Do not let your children hang out of the windows or hang out of the sunroof as you drive slowly through the carpool line. You still don't know what's going to happen. You still can't predict what's going on in front of you or behind you. And we really just want to keep your children safe. I talked a lot about this. Children feed off of us. I'm getting lots of emails that tells me like that, and I understand that, your child's very, very worried about their transition, or my child doesn't have friends in their class. They need to be with their friend from school. I've got to be really honest with you guys. A lot of those anxiety are ours. They're not our children's. I'm telling you I'm scared to admit it, but like 30 years of experience working with children this age, like a child in a room with other children and lots of fun new toys, they are having the time of their life. It's like we take our own anxieties and we think that our children are going to feel that way. And for the most part, they don't. It's when they sense that we're worried for them. It's when they sense that we're uncomfortable leaving them for the first time that they pick up on these anxieties and start feeling them themselves. So what I really want you to do is to really, really, really start talking about how wonderful a time you had at camp, even if you hated it. I want you to start talking about how excited you're for them. There's new friends, and wait till they see the playground, and wait till they get to see the splash pad, and it's going to be so much fun. And that, change can be a little bit scary, or that, you can remember when you were nervous, but then you went in and you saw how happy the counselors were to have you. Like, and don't let your child hear you on the phone saying, I'm so worried to your friend, or my baby's going off, because kids don't know how to, take that. They take that as worry. And it's, believe me, I'm a Jewish mother. I get it. I know that I do the same things, but I see how that can affect our child. And a lot of the anxiety comes more from the parents of their worry, because of course, as parents, it's all you do is worry. But remember, your child is this happy-go-lucky kid and in the care of these wonderful preschool teachers and around other children who have similar interests and want to swim and want to hike and want to do all of this. It's an incredible environment. So you want to make them feel comfortable. And the way that they feel comfortable is to know that you're comfortable with this decision. Here's the infant toddler supply list. I don't know why that's there. I feel like we talked about that already. But anyway, it's all in the handbook. Feel free to read it over. It'll tell you exactly what you need to keep here and what you need to bring daily.
I was told I accidentally skipped through this slide a little too fast, so I went back to it.
Oh, I was like, didn't I talk about this? I'm like, on repeat. How long did I talk for? Is that a full hour?
Yeah,
a full hour.
it's a lot shorter than last year.
Oh, did I get better? Did I get quicker? I don't know if I covered everything. Do we have a lot of questions?
We don't, and no, we don't.
That's
but
great.
They are about similar topics.
Okay,
people ask, somebody asked, what happens if an injury happens after the nurses leave at 1:15?
So if an injury happens, Danny, myself, and a few other people on staff have medical administration training. So we know exactly what to do. We'll do exactly what the nurses would do. We have access to all of the supplies. We know how to, bandage a wound. We know how to make sure it's cleaned out. We certainly know how to call a parent and let you know if, something has happened. A lot of times we will take a picture of your child to show you that the bump that they're coming home with, or if there's any kind of concern that we feel that a child needs further medical attention, We do not err on the side of, oh, maybe no. We will call you and let you know that there could be a chance. We do expect parents to act quickly and responsibly when you do get those phone calls. But the most important thing to know is that you will know within minutes if anything has ever happened to your child.
The next question was, what about if children can't swim? What does their swim time look like?
So what's so exciting about our instructional pool is that children generally who are 3 years of age or older can stand in this pool. So it's this incredible experience of where it's not a baby pool, it's a little deeper than a baby pool, but it starts out so that a child who is 3, the water will come up to here. So it's a perfect environment for them to feel comfortable in the water and play with the, the squishies and the balls that are in the pool. And also feel comfortable enough to start experimenting and taking risks and going under, knowing that if they can't do it, they can put their feet down and get right back up. So don't worry, children are not in water that they can't stand in. If children are really proficient swimmers, we do have a deeper end where children this age don't stand, and they will be with instructors in that area. So swim time looks like this. Swim time looks like this. There is a lifeguard. The pool is not a huge pool. There will be 2 bunks there at a time. It's very shallow on one end. It is roped off so that child does not go to the deep end. There is a lifeguard on a stand that can oversee the whole pool. There are 2 counselors in each bunk. One of those counselors will be in the water. One of those counselors will be on the deck, constantly scanning the pool, and I will be hovering over constantly too. So there are definitely times when a child goes under, their feet slip and they go under and aren't able to catch their balance. We get them in a matter of seconds. They may have coughed up some, they may cough, they may have swallowed a little bit of water, but there is eyes on the pool constantly that we have never had any kind of serious injury. We've had teachers on the sidelines. If a child does go under, we have teachers jump in with their clothes and their phone and everything in just because, we'll do whatever it takes. But no child is not being watched constantly. So I'm not going to tell you that things don't happen because children lose their footing. But I can tell you that that child will be picked up and out of the water and will act like nothing happened because we don't want to show our fear either, or, they take that in and we will move on. But if anything like that even happens, we certainly communicate to you to let you know exactly what happens. And if your child comes home and tells you something and you're not entirely sure what they're trying to communicate or you want clarification, we are here to help you. So just reach out.
Perfect. What about half-day children? Should they be sending in a snack?
So, oh my gosh, I didn't talk about that. So no, please do not send any food from home if you are not staying for lunch. And please do not send snacks for other than lunch if you are here for lunch. Every morning we serve a fresh fruit or a vegetable. Over the summer, we'll do like a lot of watermelons and different kinds of melons and more of the summer fruits like strawberries and blueberries and all that kind of stuff. We serve that in the morning for a morning snack. Yes, I understand that some children don't like all the different fruits or vegetables. If you give them a good breakfast, they opt not to have snack. They will be fine. We eat lunch at 12:30. We also provide milk during snack time, so they're free to either drink milk or if you provide your own milk. We certainly won't let a child go hungry, but what we have noticed is that children are more likely to eat foods that they won't eat with you when they see all of their peers eating it, when they're sitting at a table surrounded by each other, when they have the opportunity to pour their own water and get their own napkin and prepare their snack. So we will certainly keep you updated with how your child's doing with eating. Just know we'll never let a child go hungry, but we do not make exceptions for our food policy unless there's a medical need and we have information from a doctor. We certainly will work with any child who has, some special eating needs. But generally, what we do really works. It gets children to experiment. We have them smell the food. We'll have them lick the food. They'll try the food. And we would never let a child go hungry.
I do want to specify, especially with the infant toddler list that I had brought back up, infant toddler is children who are under 2 years old. So if your child is already 2, they cannot bring a water bottle or a bottle. Again, that is a licensing regulation. That's not our choice. It's what our licensing agents and the COMAR, which is the regulations for all preschools throughout the state, says is something we cannot have here outside of infant toddler. Children are old enough and capable of drinking from open cups. And it's a way that we're able to make sure that there's no mold growing or anything that's not sanitary, and that children aren't drinking from each other's and then continually using them throughout the entire day.
And I always say parents are going to be like, they don't know how to drink out of a cup. I'm like, okay, so let them make the messes with us. Like, let them spill the water here. And so it's not in your house. And I taught twos for many, many, many years. And I never had a child that didn't learn how to drink from a cup. It's letting your child, I mean, even that just gives your child confidence. Like, look what they're doing. They can be a big kid. I know it is difficult for a lot of parents to see their children grow up and do things independently, but that is our job. It makes people feel more secure as they grow. It causes children have better self-esteem and feel better about who they are as individuals. So it's all for a great purpose, although I know it's hard for parents to watch their babies grow so quickly. But in infant toddler, it's a whole different standard of expectations. You supply every food for your child because we know how dangerous it can be with allergies and introducing foods for the first time. So if you are coming and it's your first time with children 2 and under, we go by your lead. You provide the food. You tell us, when to eat. If your child's very young, we get them more into a schedule the older that they get. And your teachers who have been in infant toddler for many years are here to guide you through that process. And so are Danny and I.
Absolutely. The other difference with infant toddler is that bottles are warmed in a crock pot. There's refrigerators directly in the classroom, and there are microwaves. Once your child turns 2, we're not refrigerating their lunches and we're not warming them up. So you're going to send warm lunches in a thermos, and cold lunches you can freeze a yogurt or a Go-Gurt or an ice pack or anything like that.
And just remember, the lunches are kept in our refrigerated building, so nothing is going to go bad from the time. What did I say?
A refrigerated building.
Did I really?
Yeah.
It's time for me to go home, everybody. A refrigerator, an air-conditioned building. So the food won't spoil quickly. So it's really not a worry. What other questions?
The other difference I'm just going to say real quickly, sorry, is that the infant toddler does not stick to that same 1 to 3 o'clock nap time. Depending on the room that your child's in, and if you have specific questions, we're happy to address that later on. But depending on the room that they're in and their age will depend on the routine that they follow, whether it's your routine or our routine here at school. But many of those rooms do have more than one nap and things like that to make sure each of the children are getting exactly what they need at that age. There were questions about like bento boxes or lunches that have multiple compartments and how they should market that each of them are nut-free.
So if it is a bento box and you have made sure that everything in that bento box, and we are trusting you, and we want you to understand that there are children in our program that have severe allergies to peanuts, severe enough that if they come in contact with it, they will have a very serious reaction. If you mark that bento box nut-free with a piece of, masking tape or whatever on top of it, we are trusting you that means that entire lunch has been checked. But I appreciate you asking that, and I appreciate you really taking this seriously. And so do all the parents with children with allergies. I can promise you that.
What about Bright Wheel invites? There are families who are saying that they've downloaded the app, but they can't get into it yet.
Summer families?
Yep.
It's because they haven't been invited yet by us. And the reason that they haven't been invited yet by us is because we are still communicating with all of our year-round children, and it won't be until we're able to take our current roster off of Bright Wheel, upload our summer roster, that you guys will get that invitation. So know that can't happen until school is over. Our last day with students here is the 12th of June. Mary Ida, who is very busy collecting all of the forms, and just like you guys with our new Salesforce system, printing them all out and making sure that we're getting everything that we need and we have everything before children start, is also responsible for uploading all of that new information. I promise to you it will get done before the weekend, before camp, so that you have time to understand the app, change your personal code, invite those that need to be. Remember, anyone that you invite to be on Bright Wheel also needs to be on your emergency card, and also needs to go upstairs the first time before it's time to pick up your child. Get that visitor's badge, present that visitor's badge to Mary Ida, who will give them a key card that they will then be able to scan into the building to let us know that they have permission to be in our building.
I think there were a couple other questions about that. Specifically, if you are a year-round student at the Stoller Early Learning Center, you receive complimentary membership to the JCC. That membership card obviously not only gets you into the entire building, but it will continue to get you into the preschool here. If you are, if you have family members who already have access passes, those should continue working as well. If for whatever reason you're at like your 1 year mark this summer and their passes stop working, yours won't, but theirs may. They just need to reach out to Mary Ida so she can renew that access. If you are a new family joining us in infant toddler and you receive complimentary membership, please make sure you get your membership badges prior to the start of camp, and just make sure that every visitor knows that if they haven't done it in advance, they will need to do it that day. And like Kim mentioned, they will get sent upstairs by security. Exceptions won't be made. Even if they're with you, they will still need to go upstairs and get their own badge. So you've got lots of notice. Please make sure you're prepared for it, and so are they. There were a couple questions. If you can just recap the timing of carpool and what it means for families that want to bring their children in. And really quickly, I will also share that a few people thought you were calling them out on needing to deal with carpool who are here year round and have hard times with their kids in carpool. So that cracked me up. And almost all of them like followed that up by saying that carpool is the absolute best, and even though it's hard for you the first couple of days, it's in the students' best interest, or the campers.
I know exactly. I know exactly who said that, because one of the moms that's on here was like, my kid's never going to do carpool. And I hear you, and I know you're worried, and that child is a pro at carpool. It is, we worry so much for our children, and so much of it is unnecessary worry. I'm a parent, I have 3. I get it. Believe me, I get it. But when I tell you that children are resilient, they are born free of anxiety. It's us around them that's causing that. It's beautiful. It's why I like working with children. You know, I see the joy in their eyes. I see that they go from feeling very scared because you teach your children not to go with strangers, and you're handing them off to me, and they're going to be my best friend in a day or two, and they're going to know that they can come to Danny and I, you know, for a high five at the beginning of the day, a hug at the end of the day, and that we love them, that we want them here. Danny and I will know every child's name. Danny will know them quicker than I. She'll also know all of your names quicker than I. And then, you know, when I will get it probably week 3. Just know I'll know your face. I'll be able to say hi. Even if I toured you, I might not remember you. Danny will, and she will help me remember. But I'm just really excited to get in the summer. I remember children without a problem. It's the parents that it takes me longer to connect. But we do need to talk a little bit more about what you told me to talk more about, Dan, but you know me, I can't remember. What was it?
Carpool times.
Okay.
And when they can access the building. Okay.
So carpool in the morning, let's just start with morning carpool. We'll start at 8:45 and it'll run to 9:05. That means from 8:40 on, you may not walk into the building. So if you are a 9 o'clock to 3:30 child and you want to walk your child in, you may not come before carpool because you have not paid to arrive prior to carpool. So if you want to walk your child in, and I am going to throw it out to all of you, if you do expect to do carpool, start from the beginning. I know you're curious about what it looks like inside. Wait 2 weeks till your child's used to camp and then come in, only because you want to set, this is how it's going to look every morning. This is what it's going to be like. I'm so excited for you. I wonder who's going to take you out of the car. There'll be music playing. It's all different things. Children love routine. They love to know what's expected. For you, it's easier if you bring them in the first week because you get to see that they're okay. And then the second week when you're dropping off from the carpool, it's still that same transition. So doing it from the start is best. Your child will get comfortable with it, and then you will have the freedom to walk them in when you want to. But of course, we understand that parents need different things, and we are here for you, and we'll agree to do what you feel is best. But at 8:40, the security guard leaves his post, which is right at our door, and walks outside. At 8:45, he will remove cones that block our circle so that cars can come into our circle. We let all the cars pull up into our circle. We ask that everyone is off their phone. Do not be on your phone texting or calling. I don't even want you on your speakerphone at the time. It's time to say goodbye to your child. It is time to make sure that everyone's safe. And we all know that it takes our focus off of what we're doing if we're in a conversation with someone else. So do your very best to not be on your phone. If I see you on your phone, I will tell you kindly that it's not acceptable and to pull out of our carpool line. And Carpool will look like this. Each classroom, each bunk has 2 staff members. During carpool, 1 staff member is in the classroom ready to greet all the children. 1 staff member is at carpool ready to greet all the children. Children get out of the car probably, let's say 6, 8 cars at a time. And do not get out of your car until an adult approaches your car. We will come over to you. We will have, I'm getting my badge, everyone. We will have our badges. Everyone has
QR code. That was the word you couldn't remember.
QR. What's a skew?
No, QR.
I know. Oh, I was
You
calling
said
QR.
QR.
But isn't this a skew? I don't know. My brain is so anyway, we will come over to you with this. You scan it, you check your child in on the Brightwheel app. We will take your child their book bag, their belongings on Mondays. It's a lot of belongings because we have their nap stuff too. We will take them by the hand. We will walk them into their classroom. We will make sure they're there safely. The teacher that's in the room knows that they are now responsible for that child. We walk back out to get the next child. It really is a great system, and it really goes very smoothly once everyone gets used to it and once everyone understands that it's not a time to socialize. Like, I love it when the parents become friends. I hate it when you two get out of the car during morning carpool and start chit-chatting about where you're going to meet for lunch because it's holding the carpool line up and I have parents that need to get to work behind you. So we have plenty of room for you to pull over. We have plenty of room for you to talk. I want all that. I want you guys to build relationships. I just don't want you to do it during carpool time. I want you to get to know the counselors. I just don't want you to do it during carpool time. So vice versa for the afternoon. So if you want to bring your child in for the first couple of days, which I don't suggest, but we certainly understand, you will need to wait until the guard is back in his location. So the first couple of days of camp, carpool is going to take longer than that 8:45 to 9:05. It could take a lot longer depending on how easily parents say goodbye to their children and how easily they let go and how many people this is their first time. But no matter how long it takes, the guard must stay outside until the last child's inside. He keeps us all safe. He makes sure that there's no one left in the street. So he's not able to return to his post until carpool is over. Carpool eventually will be over at 9:05 regardless, because we will have it down to a science. And if you arrive after 9:05, you have to walk your child in. It's not a choice. The first couple of days, we understand it's just as much us as it is you. So we give that extra time. If you do want to walk your child in, you wait till the guard comes in, you make sure that you have your proper ID, your scan card, you'll walk in the building, you do need to walk your child to class. This does usually cause to be a more difficult transition to leave a parent. If you come in late frequently, most of our activities start by 9:20. Your child's going to be late. If the kids are already, having like a morning meeting or a discussion or getting excited about what the day is going to be about, it's really a time for a child to feel part of the community, part of the classroom family, and they miss out on that kind of stuff. So do your very best to start camp with the consistency of being on time. We certainly understand things happen, but a child who is consistently late is not as much involved in that morning time of center times where the kids are really choosing what activities they get to play and who they're playing with and what relationships they're building. So it is definitely beneficial for children to, from the very start, just get used to the routine. Once they're used to the routine, if you go a little bit out of the routine, they're able to cope with it because they know they're safe and loved. Did I leave anything out, Dan?
No, I think that was perfect. Infant toddler at carpool, we have to, just to re-explain that one, that they're
so a lot of times parents have 2 kids, one who's in our regular program, preschool camp program, one who's in infant toddler. We do not take infant toddler children out of the car and deliver them to the classroom in the morning because it takes a lot of time to get an infant toddler to walk from our carpool line down to their wing. So it just doesn't keep our process going. And we understand that you might want your other child to get out of the car in carpool. But this is their 2 choices. You come through carpool, you drop off the older child, then you pull right around, you park, and you take your infant toddler into the classroom from their back door, which is right there. Or you can park your car, bring both children up. Carpool is not only for the children who come into the circle, but it's also for the infant toddler families who walk in. They don't walk in the building. They walk the infant toddler to their door, and then they can hand off their child to one of our teachers who's waiting outside. They'll scan the code right there. So it's sort of like carpool, but your car's parked because you have an infant toddler. but a lot of the kids like to be dropped off in carpool. So we do have a lot of families who will drive through carpool, drop the older child off, then park just to walk their infant toddler to their door. In the afternoon, we bring everyone to the car. So we'll have infant toddlers coming out in the arms of their teachers and being brought right to you. You'll put them in the car seat and you will drive off. If it's a situation where you need to leave like the base of the car seat at our school, our vestibule has stroller parking. Families often leave, the bases of the car seats in that piece, not the base, the other part, but in there so that, and you'll just like send a bright little message. Do you mind grabbing that on the way out? They won't put the child in it, but they'll certainly hold that and the child in the other hand and bring it to the car for you.
Perfect. What about, there was questions about meat and dairy lunches. If they understood that, if they understood.
You read something, what were you reading?
I was reading the next question that just came in. But they understand the meat and dairy, but they wanted to know, what does that mean if they want to put cheese on a pasta that has chicken in it, or send like a turkey and cheese sandwich?
So we're asking them not to. So it's going to be a transition for us all. It is the first time that we have done this. We really do understand that a lot of parents have problems packing children protein lunches if they don't prefer dairy products. But we're compromising, but we still are sticking to our Jewish values, Jewish customs, which many Jewish people do not mix milk and meat. So we are asking, if you send a meat meal, there's no dairy products with it. So we ask you don't put the chicken and cheese and pasta together. You don't put the cheddar cheese on the turkey sandwich, that you send it without. You are more than welcome to pack an entire dairy lunch. Like, you're all familiar with that who have been here. You're able to pack an entire meat lunch. Please know that there are many items that are known as parve that fit both into a meat meal or to a dairy meal. So there's foods that can be served with either. So when we say meat meal, that doesn't mean every course needs to be meat, but it just doesn't contain dairy. So you can certainly send a fruit and a chip and other things with both a dairy and a meat meal. But the main course and the side dishes, we ask you not to send chicken nuggets and then serve a yogurt on the side, kind of thing.
A great question. That was something I recently learned, and it just came up. Is breast milk for children and infant toddler considered dairy or not? And it's actually considered parve. I didn't know that before.
Really?
Yeah.
You just learned? I didn't know that either. And yes, so there you go. There's your answer. Really, that's great to know.
Yeah.
Wonder why.
So the next two things are kind of general. One is, I was talking with someone and just wanted to make sure that everyone knows that we do not swim week 1.
Yes, we do not swim week 1 in a few of our specials that I forgot to include in the slides. So let me just tell you really quickly, because I know it's getting late. The 3-year-olds will have Israeli dance and the 4 and 5-year-olds will have karate. Those are being provided by JCAM counselors. I'm excited for the older kids to experience some of those things. They will not start the first week either. When you get your schedule, which you will all get prior to camp starting, your bunk schedule, next week early on, you will get your roster, you'll get your counselor's name, you'll get your bunk schedule. You will be all set a week before camp starts. And you'll see exactly what day your child has what. Unfortunately, we are completely packed in most bunks. We are not going to be able to switch schedules. If you say that your child loves sports and they're not signed up for sports days, you can try. I'm certainly here to work with you, but I just want everyone to know that we are jam packed full of children this summer, and any kind of transition like that's not going to be easy to make. That's why I always tell all of you who I've talked to, sign up for as many weeks as you're going to be home, because your kid's going to love it. They're going to want to come, and I'm not going to have those weeks to provide you after the fact.
And then the last thing was just ways to get to know the counselors when carpool's not that time and day 1 can be hectic with drop off. What are their opportunities to learn about who their kids will be with throughout the summer? I
know it's difficult, and I'm getting a lot of that right now. People so badly want to know that their children are in good hands and want to, establish that relationship. Unfortunately, what happens is that we are literally in school to the 12th. The teachers will be here for half a day on Wednesday to clean up their classrooms. On Thursday, we have an all-day orientation where not only are we learning everything and regrouping and making sure that I specify all the safety things that have to be in place to make sure everyone's safe, whether it's the pool or a walk and all those kinds of things. It's also the day where the teachers switch to their summer rooms and make sure that their rooms are welcoming and inviting for the children. The teachers have off one day. Well, they have off Juneteenth too, so it's actually two days before camp starts. So it's not that I don't want people to feel that comfort. It's just that the way our program works, which caters to so many working families and it's what's needed in our community, just does not provide us with that opportunity to have a day for families to come in and to see the room and to meet the counselors. Believe me, through Brightwheel, you will have plenty of communication. Once your child is comfortable in the classroom, feel free to walk in, introduce yourself, feel free to, your counselor will be one of the people walking out. You will start to know their personality just simply by how much love they show for your child. And I say this to all the parents, if your child comes home happy, if your child is smiling, if your child can't wait to go to camp the next day, you know that they have great counselors. Your child will not want to come to a place where they don't love the people that take care of them. And I am also here to help guide you through that. We do want you to have relationships with our staff. We also want our staff to always be on point when it comes to caring for the children in their care. All of their hours that they're paid to work, they all work 9-hour days. They do get 1 hour for lunch break, not all, most. They're exhausted at the end of the day. You know, we want them to be refreshed the next day. So it's a hard balance, but our families that are here all year long, many of them on the screen, they'll tell you, they know their teachers well. It just happens. And we will do our very best to make sure you feel that way too. I'm sorry that we can't provide more of a get to know you, greet you kind of thing. It just doesn't happen with the type of program we run.
What we have done the past couple of years, both with school and camp though,
and we're gonna do it again, I should have mentioned,
is sending home newsletters. So the same way that you'll receive a newsletter once your child's actively in camp each week, it shows up in your Brightwheel messages. It'll be a little link, you click it and you open it. It's where the counselors are going to tell you all about what they did, how they did it, what they used in the process, what they learned, what the children are interested in, and what's kind of like guiding their experiences throughout the week. They will send something throughout the day on that Thursday that will at minimum include a few pictures of their bunk so that the kids can see and where they're coming on Tuesday morning, as well as pictures of who they are, so that you can show your child, talk about it with them. And like Kim mentioned with the transitions, like make sure that you are constantly talking about how excited you are, how much you love them and you miss them, but like that you're confident that they are going to have an incredible experience. Kim, I don't remember if it was on the like kind of who's who slide or not, but as you were talking about how we're here to support families through these transitions, can you also introduce Sarah?
So we are so lucky this school year, we welcomed Sarah Barth into our ELC family. She is a social worker. She is fabulous. She is an extra support for our teachers, for our children, for our families that provide children who need that extra comfort, who may be feeling anxious about a certain situation or a certain moment. She's fabulous. She is here to support us. I'm sorry, I did not update that slide. I don't know why.
It didn't hit me till you were just saying it, so it's okay.
And she's spending the summer with us too. So just know she's another resource for you. She's another resource for your child. You will know her from day one. She will be out at Carpool helping those children transition. She's got a ton of, between her, Danny and I, we have every trick up our sleeve. And, each child has like, they get along with different people better. Like Danny will have, the kids that favor her, then I'll have the ones that favor me. And Sarah will have the ones that favor, like they'll have their person. They'll love us all, but they'll have their person and they'll know that person has their back. And Sarah is another great member of her community. And I cannot believe that I forgot to mention her. It's her first summer with us, which is why I forgot, but she's been such a big part of the school year. And I'm so excited that she's continuing through the summer.
She's also had the opportunity to get to know all of your children if they go here throughout the school year. And so one of the things that she's going to try and get done prior to your camper starting, if they are new with us, is just giving you a call to kind of check in to figure out what makes your child tick, what makes them an individual, what's the kinds of things that you want to make sure that our team knows to make sure that they're able to have a really wonderful summer once they get here.
And just to welcome you and let you know that we are a community. We all work together and we're team children. Whatever, put your child's name in. We are here to advocate for you and your child We want every child to succeed, and we have a lot of people in place to make sure that happens, and great, incredible staff, many who have been here just as long as me. We say you come to this place, you fall in love, and you don't leave.
I think the last question was really about children wearing sunscreen and bug spray and touching things and then eating. So do you want to talk about the many times that our classes make routine out of washing hands?
Not only do we have the routine of washing our hands, and I'll say it again, as soon as the children arrive, before they're allowed to touch anything, they literally put their stuff down in their cubbies, they go and wash their hands. Anytime we see a child touch their face, touch their mouth, blow their nose, sneeze into it, the child washes their hands. We teach hand washing skills from the very beginning about the appropriate way to get your hands wet first, then get the soap. Make sure the soap goes in between your fingers. We all have songs to sing. We know the appropriate amount of time that we need to suds our hands. We know when we rinse our hands off, we need to rinse up from our wrist down. And so we are very much on top of that. That will occur throughout the day, but always whenever we re-enter the building from outside, always before we sit down for a snack or a meal, and always after bathrooming. And of course, children throughout the day, when I see a child with a finger in the nose or a finger down their pants, let's go wash our hands. So it's constant. You do not have to worry about them eating like the bug spray or whatever on their hands. And if your child is very young and is very handsy and their fingers are in their mouth a lot, talk with your counselors. We'll make sure that we avoid putting, products on their hands if that's an issue for your child specifically.
Awesome. Last chance for any questions that you might have that would be applicable to everyone. If not, just know that we'll be bombarded with questions all night from people reflecting upon this meeting and looking through the handbook and everything. And we're always here to answer your questions.
And Danny will probably answer them at 3:30 in the morning. I literally am going home, putting my head on the pillow, and I'll be back here at 7 to answer all of your questions. I want you all to know that we're here at the JCC are a huge team. Danny and I are excited to welcome you all. We want our offices to be open places for you to come. We don't want you to hold anything back. If you are feeling a certain way, speak up about the way you're feeling, whether it's good or bad. We will work with you to make sure that every child has a successful summer. And both of us are born to do this and love what we do and are here for you and super excited about an incredible summer. We have so many fun things planned that the children will get to explore and take risk and just try things that are different, and every day is going to be an experience in itself. So I'm really excited. I see a hand up.
We've addressed it.
Okay, then I'll just wave to the hand. Hi. All right, do we get to go home?
Yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you, everybody. I can't wait to see you. Bye. Oh, that's nice. None of the messages popped up during, which was actually, that's the only message I can see.
It might have only gone to you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
See you soon.